The despair of Arthur's last ride is one of the saddest moments I have ever seen in overall fiction, especially when you focus on the low honor version of the track, which I honestly think captures more deep themes despite the unpleasant endings. But the difference in endings and honor don't really take away from the themes of what this low honor version of the song says. Let's get into it. You may want to get some tissues. We start with an instrumental that gives serious despair vibes of self-reflection, and it consistently flows throughout this entire song as deep lines are given, such as our very first few deep verses.
Abigail Roberts.
Always was a good thief.
That you was. Yeah, get out of here.
The many miles we walk, the many things we learn, the building of a shrine, only just to burn.
The many miles we walked, the many things we learned, the building of a shrine, only just to burn. This one can apply to everyone, as everyone with a life has a journey that is long walked and long taught, and they learn lessons throughout their lives, a chance to build something great and sacred, a shrine in a way. But we're not immune to failure, and we're also not immortal. We age, we die, we can lose our good years, hence the verse, the building of a shrine, only just to burn. And sometimes that's just something we cannot control at all, hence the main chorus that later takes us into deeper lines from key characters in Arthur's life.
That's the way it is. That's the way it is.
We start with a quote from the most influential figure in Arthur's life, his father figure, Dutch van der Linde, and his line,
We are not criminals. We are outlaws.
which perfectly represents the values and way of life his father figure instilled in him, despite Arthur Morgan not being in complete alignment with it due to the fact that it's Dutch's thoughts and not his, and that way of life has taken so much away from him. Like his ex-lover, Mary Gillis turns Mary Linton, that could never work due to the values of Dutch Arthur held so close to. And Mary Linton knows it too, as she gives one of the most gut-punching lines in the game, or just fiction in general, once again.
I see clearly that your world is not a world from which one can escape.
Gosh, that line is so depressing, yet it remains objectively true. I need not explain this line any further, as I'll expand on it at the end, but it's fate for the better or worse. The next lines expand on that fate.
May the wind be at your back, good fortune touch your hand, may the cards lay out a straight, all from your command.
May the wind be at your back basically means may fate be on your side for the better. Wind meaning fate, as the wind is something that one really has no control over. It being at your back is a good thing, of course, as one moves faster when the wind is blowing in the direction they're moving, as opposed to the other way around. Wind is often used as an analogy for fate, such as the last line of Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, "Any way the wind blows." It's used in this Red Dead song with the hope of fate going his way, hence why the verse is followed by "Good fortune touch your hand." May the cards lay out a straight, meaning a decent poker hand, which doubles down as another metaphor for the concept of fate, as cards are another thing you don't have complete control over when it comes to the cards you're dealt due to stuff like shuffling a deck. Similar to wind, it's also a really good life analogy. It's followed up by the great line of, all from your command, which basically means that despite the role that fate plays in everyone's life, you still have a choice in your life via your decisions, at least to some extent. It's about playing those cards you're dealt to the best of your ability, even if you still lose. I love these lines as it clears out the stupid misconception that other people, and even a few writers, have about fate when they deny its existence out of fear of admitting they have no control. But it's not about that. Fate can exist while still having your choices be intact. Your choices are yours, yes, but those choices in themselves are choices you were destined to make. Even if it's not by like some higher power, it would at least be by the laws of human nature. The best brief example of this is the Last Supper, where Jesus states, Peter, 3 times you'll deny me. That was fate, but Peter still made that decision. And that decision was fate, similar to the choices of Judas. But anyway, we circle back to the main course that goes even harder with the context of the lines I've analyzed so far.
That's the way it is. That's the way it is.
Then we get flashback lines that may vary depending on one's playthrough, that represent regret and mistakes of harsh acts that may make you look back and wonder, maybe I could have been a little kinder in a few past moments. This one can be extremely relatable.
Please, I have a family, sir, please.
You speak as if killing was something I cared about.
I made a mistake. I'm sorry. You can't exactly beat it out of him now, can you?
There ain't nothing left, mister.
Then we have Micah Bell's line, which is sort of a similar tone of mistakes, yet different. A flashback to people you shouldn't have trusted or associated with. It makes you feel sad or angry.
There's a big picture here, Arthur. Trust me.
Dutch's line is questionable as it's more of a gray area than Micah Bell, as he isn't complete evil, although it is questionable as Dutch's mentoring has put Arthur on this path when he could have been with Mary Gillis if it weren't for his dedication to Dutch's gang.
You have turned into my son.
And then we get to the last amazing line from his second father figure, Jose.
My pa used to say, stare into the fire long enough, you can see the whole world pass by.
Gosh, this line here basically doubles down on the meaning in the line, all from your command. You stare into the fire long enough, you can see the whole world pass by. The fire meaning the negative things in your life that have went wrong or failed, burned in a way. Hence the use of the word fire, as fire is generally not a good thing apart from some obvious exceptions. Focusing on the negative can cost you enjoyment in your life and even cause you to lose all your good years and miss out. Hence the quote, you stare into the fire long enough, you can see the whole world pass by. And sometimes it could be too late to put out the fire just about, hence the last few lines shine light into darkness as a way of pleading for things to get better despite a life that was engulfed by that unfortunate darkness. Arthur Morgan is a great, sad example as his mother died of an unknown cause when he was just a child. His father got arrested when he was 11 and he later had to witness his father's death via hanging. He was homeless from the age 11 to 14, which is why he had to resort to crime. He couldn't marry the woman he loved because of her father disapproving his life of crime. His child Isaac and his mother Eliza got killed over $10, and then there's the loss of his fellow gang members that were like family, Sean and Lenny, who were essentially younger brothers to him, along with Jose, who was one of his father figures being executed in front of him, just like his real father. And then we have Dutch, who's mistakenly fell out of tune with Arthur as things have gotten shaky. And the physical cherry on the bad sundae is that now he has tuberculosis that may have opened his eyes to things, but it's destined him to die prematurely, even if he wanted to 180 his life and go away with Mary. The instrumental gets these themes home, as you could hear some instrumental noise that sounds a little demonic as a way of representing these demons he has inside.
Shine light into darkness. Shine light into darkness.
Under the context of the lines and the instrumental, I have analyzed the story and themes of Arthur's Last Ride is about a man that is destined to lose via his past trials and tribulations that were basically out of his control. A father figure that kept him on a destructive path, a path that caused him to not be able to love and would force him to lose tons of people. Sure, it wasn't all doom and gloom, as he would still do the best he could with the cards he was dealt, and at least sacrifice what little of his life he has left to give John a chance at living the good, loving life it was too late for Arthur to have. But despite all of that, it doesn't change Arthur's fate. You may be able to write this off as a game mechanic, but regardless of honor level and choices Arthur makes that lead to 4 partially different endings, it will never change the fate of him dying standing for what he believes in. For the better or worse, it will never change the fate of it all being over. It's over.
It is over. Now, Arthur. It's over. Oh, Dutch. He's right. You know it, and I know it.
He's sick. He's dying. He's talking crazy.
There! Up there on the ridge! I gave you all I had. I did.
Come on. Dutch. Let's go, buddy. We made it. We won. Come on.
John made it. He's the only one. The rest of us... No. I tried. In the end, I did.